Summer is finally here, and it's a great time to go out into nature. But sometimes the pollen count is too much, the public spaces are too packed, and too hot the eye of heaven shines. So if you want to get a taste of the outside from the great indoors, here are 6 of our favorite gardening games for mobile devices to turn your tapping fingers green. An awe-inspiring work of digital poetry, Prune is a very simple-to-play game, yet an incredibly engrossing and moving experience. You have to grow a tree, that's all. From a planted seed that writhes to a mass of branches, simply swipe on the screen to sculpt your progress so enough blossoms bloom in the sunlight to get the job done. But in its sheer simplicity, this becomes less of a game about cultivation and more of a moment of meditation. With no on-screen text, no timers, no pressure, and a zen-like score to wash over you as you help life thrive, this title transcends its initial subject matter and invites a greater perspective on the world and our place in it. Any thought of games involving gardening would be incomplete without mentioning the legendary Stardew Valley. Taking control of a somewhat derelict farm, there are plenty of things to do around the little town you've moved to, collecting resources, making friends with the locals, uncovering the secrets that have tried to remain buried. But for all of that, your main course of action is to turn a profit from what you have. And what you have is a large plot of land filled with fertile earth ready for tilling. With seasonal varieties of produce and rare seeds to get your hands on, all with varying conditions for optimal growth, you'll be surprised how long you spend growing plants and how invested you get to make sure your crop yield is at its best levels. The only thing missing is the dirt under your fingernails. Gardening can be a lot of work. All that digging, repotting, pulling up errant weeds, with the harsh sunlight beating down on you, having to bat away the bees and mosquitoes. It can be so tiring just to cultivate some life. Well, luckily, Terrarium Garden Idle lives up to its moniker, as this idle game lets you just sit back and reap what you're sowing with very little effort. Tap the plants to harvest their oxygen, and use said oxygen to upgrade your green friends, or buy more leafy comrades to add to your ever-growing collection. With additional power-ups to unlock as you go along, this will be the least amount of work you can do, and you'll be hooked for hours on end, and it'll all feel worthwhile. Bring life back to a barren landscape by growing and evolving adorable vegetation in pocket plants. From a wide selection of hundreds of individually designed flora, you'll match them up to help clear the trash and debris that litters the earth. This delightfully animated and designed title will have you exploring magical worlds and meeting casts of colorful characters as you keep on merging to be the best horticulturalist you can be. And what's more, you can link the game to a Fitbit or Apple Watch and convert the steps you take in the real world to in-game currency that can be used to help grow and unlock even more leafy offerings. And if the idea of getting out and about sounds good, then perhaps you'll enjoy the next entry on our list. Niantic have done it again, taking a beloved franchise that have appeared on Nintendo consoles and mixed it with their unique blend of augmented reality and the real world in the form of Pikmin Bloom. A much more relaxed affair compared to previous titles, you'll find yourself walking around in the hopes of planting as many flowers as possible, making nature even more beautiful in the virtual landscape. And alongside for the ride is your diminutive loyal army of Pikmin, whom you can collect, send off to retrieve items, or just hang out with for the day. With the addition of Decor Pikmin, you'll be trying your best to complete your collection of uniquely dressed sentient Pick carrots, all whilst taking in more of your surroundings. Having a walk never felt more joyful. Gardening can be quite an isolating experience at times, all that pruning and weeding by yourself, and maybe you want some company as you tend to your plant patch. And maybe you want that company to be in the form of folks who can hop. Well, you're in luck, as Home Garden Lulu will give you green fingers and a chance to hang out with green-skinned amphibians. This cute cottagecore-inspired simulation game will have you tending to your greenhouse, planting and cultivating a variety of rare plants to fill your herbarium book. But that's not all. You'll be able to mix coffee and cocktails, look after the local fish population, and chat with and learn more about the backstories of each of the local frogs that like to hang out. You'll have a riveting good time. And that was our pick of some of our favorite gardening games available on mobile devices. Do you agree with our choices? Are there any titles that you feel are more deserving? Let us know in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and we'll catch you next time.